All right, this is Beirut, Lebanon. New satellite imagery showing the damage at an Iranian military base nearly a week into Operation Epic Fury. The death toll in the U.S. strikes in Iran includes key leaders from that regime. And apart from the 86-year-old supreme leader, a handful of senior leadership has also been killed. The administration is claiming regime change as one of the objectives here, raising the question of who will now lead Iran.
So we're in a very strong position now, and their leadership is just rapidly going. Everybody that seems to want to be a leader, they end up dead. You see the tremendous progress that's being made. Their missiles are being wiped out rapidly. A nation that was out of control, and they would have used it on us if we let them, if we waited any longer.
Joining us now, a spokesperson for the Kingdom of Assembly of Iran, Gazelle Sharmahd. Thank you for being with us. I think it's important to start with your own personal history and your family's history with the Ayatollahs. Tell me about what has happened to your family.
Well, the same thing that has happened to anybody who stands against the Islamic regime. My father, here we are Americans, was kidnapped by the Islamic regime in 2020 during a flight overlay in Dubai, taken to Iran through Oman, tortured and held hostage for 4.5 years. And in 2024, they murdered him, hanged him. And it took us 1 year to bring my father's dead body, mutilated body, by the way, back to America to lay him to rest. This is not an incident that is isolated. This is what the Islamic regime has done to thousands of Iranians, to thousands of Americans, to thousands of other people all around the world since their inception, since 1979.
Given all of that, and I am so sorry for your family's loss and the horrific way that your father was killed, your reaction when you learned that the U.S. had struck Iran and that the Ayatollah had been killed?
We're still counting the days in disbelief. Today is the 5th day on this planet, on this earth, without the biggest terrorist that has terrorized not just the Iranian people for so long, the Israeli people, the region, Europeans, Americans. So this is exactly how people probably felt when Hitler and his regime was going down. Everybody is euphoric. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen the people of Iran coming into the streets, even though there is bombardment, they couldn't help themselves and were celebrating because these people can no longer hurt children, hurt women, hurt fathers like my father. So yes, it is fantastic. But of course, we also understand that the Islamic regime is not just their leadership. The Islamic regime is the complete apparatus. So as long as we don't see the IRGC bases and the besieged bases being taken out so the people can reclaim the country, we haven't won yet, and Iran isn't free yet.
Of the options right now, Gazelle, that are being discussed, I mean, one is the supreme leader's oldest son emerging as a lead candidate to run Iran. What do we know about his background?
We can go into the details about his background, but the most important thing that you have to know, this is the person that was going step by step with his father. He was in all of the meetings. He has the same ideology as his father, which was a terrifying genocidal, war criminal. But on top of that, he just witnessed his family, his father, his wife, many of his colleagues being killed. So if the Islamic regime before, with Khamenei as their head, had incentive to kill Americans, to kill Israelis, to kill Iranians, to kill anybody who stands against them, guess what this guy is doing? So we don't need to go into the bio of every single person that they're trying to push forward to try desperately to have another solution or unity within the IRGC and their command groups to maintain this war as long as they can. We just have to understand, when my father was killed, my only incentive was to take down this Islamic regime. That's how thousands of Iranians feel. And that's, by the way, how our enemies feel, how Mujtaba, Khamenei, or Hassan Rouhollah, or anybody else who is in there, if they had incentive before to take America out, now it's worse. So the worst scenario would be leaving anybody who is from this regime in place. First of all, the people of Iran would not accept that. There's too much blood between the people of Iran and this regime. And we, anybody who invested in this war, should not accept that.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.